Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor, and welcome to The Struggle, a news talk show powered by Expensive Typos. I'm your host, Tavleen. Welcome. Tonight, we discuss mangy mullets, Airbnb's role in BDSM, and tax credits, whatever they are. Controversy and politics. A classic pairing that go together as well as kebabs and a big night out. Uni students in Kathmandu jackets and former prime ministers in speedos. Sorry, can we replace that with something more appropriate? Better. Just days out from the federal election and the talk of the town is all about candidates and drama. After Jessica Whelan made anti-Muslim comments, Luke Creasy shared rape jokes, and Peter Killen thought it was funny to comment on homophobia. You would have thought everyone would have learned their lesson. But a bit of diligence is a bit too much to ask of aspiring politicians, isn't it? Just last week, Liberal Party candidate Gurpal Singh showed how considerate he was about women who were allegedly raped. In a Facebook comment, he said he disagreed with the allegation of rape, had no sympathy for her, and questioned if the woman had been kept locked away all these years, which is why she had not voiced her concerns earlier. Oh, and that she was bringing a bad name to the whole community by alleging rape. Mr. Singh clearly doesn't have a grasp on how domestic violence, Facebook, and election campaigns operate. Moving from one insensitive Canberra hopeful to another, and United Australia Party candidate Tony Pecora has claimed that the September 11 terror attacks were all part of a big conspiracy theory. In interviews with multiple media outlets, Pecora said, and I quote, "It is unprecedented in the history of modern construction for a building just to fall down like that at free fall speed." His theory revolved around controlled demolition, which suggests the World Trade Center collapsed without actually being hit by an aircraft. You know what is more believable than that?
Legendary British rock band, the Beatles, were not what they seem. They were, in fact, undercover agents sent by MI5 to corrupt America's youth and encourage them to take drugs. Why would they do this? Because the Queen is an international drug dealer.
Or this.
Number 9. Redheads are descended from aliens.
Oh, sick!
Or even this.
The Simpsons and the entire town of Springfield's skin is yellow due to a severe hepatitis outbreak, and it gave them all jaundice.
Definitely not the 9/11 attacks though. Anyhow, with so many Liberal, Labour and United Australia Party candidates no longer contesting their seat, what does this mean for One Nation? We cross now to our correspondent Pauline Hansung to get her reaction on these vanishing drop bears. Oops, I mean candidates.
Oh, hey, it's me again. And you know what? Another one bites the dust. And it's my time, my time. Do you remember Stephen Bradbury, the guy that won the entire Olympics because he did nothing? Yeah, he did nothing and he still won. That's my inspiration. He is my inspiration. I mean, what could be better than me winning the entire election because everyone dropped out? Australia would be a way better place. I mean, there'd be no boats coming to Australia anymore. There'd be no climate change debate. There will be no more devil's lettuce. We don't need marijuana to be legalized in Australia anymore because it would destroy all of our citizens. I know. My party has been in a lot of controversy. I know what it takes to lead Australia. I will be leading Australia to the path of righteousness, and I'm going to keep these Australian values close to my heart without any of these hoarding migrants coming in my way. And you know what? Once I do get in, nobody's going to question my motives, and you know what? Nobody's going to stop me. And they're going to make documentaries about me, and I'll be on top of everyone else. By the way, I have to go now. I have to make sure my cannons don't do anything stupid. And you know what? Tavleen, I'm gonna deport you back to Asia. You won't be here anymore. I will deport you and you won't be back here next season.
Always, Pauline, I guess. While it might feel like we are being dragged through a painfully long election campaign, it isn't all smooth sailing for politicians either. Whether it be a protester attempting to smash a shell on ScoMo's skull, or Bill Shorten's late mother being dragged into the political crossfire, it seems no one is safe from scrutiny in the race to the May 18th finish line. Although that might not be the biggest race going round if Bob Katter gets his way, after challenging Clive Palmer to a race up the parliamentary stairs following Mr. Palmer's suggestion that Katter is too old to be an MP. With all these distractions, along with the fear-mongering ads and general mudslinging of an election trail, let's just say it wouldn't be the best time to launch Australia's latest tourism campaign. But for the sake of some sort of resolution, we cross now to our HR manager Denise, who's here to remind us that it isn't just police capable of bullying.
Your favourite HR manager Denise is back, and this time some members at the struggle have been getting bullied, which means we have some bullies here. Now, I have a long list of complaints of all the bullying that's been going on, and usually we keep this confidential, but we trust each other, don't we? So let's get straight to it. So at the moment, there's been a smear campaign against Pauline Han-Sung. Now, I know that her views are a little bit questionable, but we should not be using politics to belittle people here in the workplace. Oh, Ian, he criticised Fiddler on the Roof, which is pretty much a bullying tactic. He might actually be anti-Semitic, like I am. He also played 9 to 5 in the workplace, and now people can't get it out of their heads. Fuck you, Ian. The influencer has made an official complaint against Tavleen for not following her on Instagram. Now, I don't follow her either, so it was quite an awkward conversation. And Carol Susans is constantly making racist remarks against Tavleen. Look, I think she might be wearing blackface, but you didn't hear it from me. One of our writers hooked up with someone at a party and she didn't tell me the details. I think as a HR manager, I have a right to know these details. You know, so much bullying going on here. I'm actually starting to get the vibes that maybe people don't like me so much here.
Fuck you, Denise, you're a piece of shit. Denise? Who's Denise?
Yeah, I know Denise. Yeah. She doesn't follow me on Instagram.
She keeps trying to make me fix her face in editing, and I'm not that good. I can't do that.
Hey, is this about Denise? Because I've got something to say about her as well.
Denise? Who the fuck's Denise? And does she have knees? Like, who the fuck is this bitch?
I think she might be homeless. She keeps coming to my door, knocking, asking me to find her a house, but because she's a, pretty heavy gambler, she's got no money, she can't afford one.
I'm sure I'm just being paranoid. But remember, if you have any bullying claims you'd like to make, don't be afraid to hit up Denise. I promise it'll just be between you and me. See you at our meeting, Tavleen.
Thanks, Denise. I know that everyone genuinely loves you and the work you do. But seriously, we know it can be tough to know exactly what each party stands for amidst all the chaos. The coalition's promoting a loan deposit scheme which would see first home buyers only have to fork out an upfront payment of 5% instead of 20%. Labour's showing a bit of love for the ABCA and SPS by pledging them a cool $60 million. And the Greens want to get a train running down the Eastern Freeway while also making TAFE and Uni free. There are obviously a heap of other parties and independents running, so check out who's running in your local area and find those that best represent you. While you do that, we'll take a quick break. Welcome back. Now to one of the buzzwords of the election. No, it's not democracy sausage, climate change, or dank memes.
Labor's proposed changes to franking credits are one of the key differences between the two major parties going into this month's federal election.
Now, to be honest, here at Struggle HQ, we don't know much about finance or money. We didn't have a chance to see the new typo on the $50 note because it's been years since we've actually been able to use one. I mean, our mere presence is testament to the fact we don't have much money. If I was on that good dollar, Do you think I would have been here for 8 episodes? Hypothetically, if anyone would like to buy one of my kidneys or perhaps be a sugar daddy for our writers, please get in touch. But franking credits keep getting talked about and Bill Shorten keeps getting asked about them. So maybe we should figure out what they are. To help us out, we asked our resident mogul, baby boomer correspondent Ian Silverspoon, for some help. He very weirdly invited us into his private residence and wouldn't let us leave until we drank scotch and sung God Save the Queen with him. We go now to Ian to give us some sort of insight into how the rich get richer.
Hello there. Welcome to my den. Please pull up a chair. I hope this doesn't intimidate you with all of its affluent decadence. Now, Tavleen, my good friend, I get that you might be in the dark about all this. Honestly, I understand why you might not know what's going on. Why would you care about how you're going to live when you're retired? With the fossil fuels my wife's Range Rover pumps out, you'll never get there. So Bill's going to take away these franking credits and I'm distraught. I might have to pay tax. But I'm going to give you a bit of a tip on how to save some cash because I know you millennials love a bit of money advice. Think of me not as the barefoot investor, but more of the Italian calf's leather investor. See, in Australia, if you receive income from some personal shares you own, you have to pay tax on them. Unless you have a cracking accountant, that is, and like me, a house in Bermuda. The franking credit system, however, lets the company you hold shares in pay the tax for you, so they give you a credit, deducting the amount of personal tax you have to pay in the long run. The issue that Labor has, though, is that at the moment, if you don't earn enough to meet the minimum tax bracket and you're not paying any personal tax at all, which applies to a lot of retirees and pensioners like me, you, the shareholder, get all that money the company paid in cold hard cash. But I mean, it doesn't really matter to you, Tavleen, or help your little friends probably. It pretty much just helps us, the people who are wealthy enough to own shares, for it to make a difference. And because they're not paying tax, it also costs the government $5 billion. Is that right? That's a lot of money. I know. I have a lot of money. Can we double? Oh no, it is $5 billion. And look, you know, I know that there's people on pensions and a New Start and there's disability benefits and now there's cuts to higher education as well, but it's all good. Do you realise how expensive docking fees are for 2 yachts? So jump on it, folks. Grab your little piggy banks, start a portfolio and exploiting the working class before they rise up against us and seize the means of production. See you later, Tavleen. I have some pheasants to shoot.
Thanks, Ian. That was extremely unsettling. Let's change pace now, shall we? Do you like to live life on the kinkier side? Does a dark, barren, lonely cane sound inviting to you? If you answered yes to those questions, congratulations! Airbnb has just the holiday destination for you. For $150 a night, you can stay in a BDSM cage locked in the garage of a dominatrix. Mistress Morgan, who also goes by Liz, has described her unique Airbnb listing as the perfect escape if you need to be put in your place. What do you get for your money? Well, a blanket, a bottle of water, and an empty bottle for your waist. There might not be a bed or a toilet, but don't worry, it does have Wi-Fi. Liz wrote in her description of the property that it would suit subs, slaves, sissies, and businessmen with overinflated egos. If that sounds like you, then this might just be your lucky day. There's only one downside to the property. It's in Sydney. If you're looking for a similar option closer to home, our housing correspondent, Anthony, might have the perfect solution for you.
Thanks, Tavleen. And let me tell you, I am beside myself as a real estate agent that I didn't see the potential in the BDSM property market. Sex sells, but kinks sell even more. For $150 a night with no bed, no bathroom, you could stay in a cage just like this one. So now I'm expanding my real estate repertoire to include cages, dungeons, kennels even. And I hear you say kennels, how could you include kennels in your real estate repertoire? Well, here's how. Kennels, what do they have? They're a small enclosed space, check, just like this one. They've got chains and chokers, check. People who are into BDSM love chains and chokers. And it's got no bathroom, also check. So, if you own a pet and you also own a kennel, you could be generating income from that. And, of course, I could get a little bit of commission. That's how the world works. But you're missing out on an opportunity. And I'm here to take the blindfold off your eyes and show you.
Thanks for that, Anthony. Always looking for a niche in the market. Well, stick right with us and we'll be back in a flash. Great to have you back with us. Now we turn to people who seemingly have no influence whatsoever on everyday life, yet are adored by millions world over. Royals. Yup, the birth of baby Sussex has once again given the world a dose of Buckingham fever, ending months of anticipation, speculation and dealings with oh-so-accurate psychic asparagus.
Gina.
Oh, could be. Does it still say twins?
It does say twins. You've got the twins there.
Okay.
Twins there.
One boy, one girl.
One boy, one girl.
And as a Commonwealth country, Australia takes great interest in all things related to our British ancestry. We have got the Union Jack on our flag. We had some of their citizens in our parliament up until recently, and the word Commonwealth usually appears on Australian marriage certificates. That is, if it too hasn't been misspelled. And it seems linguistics is not the only issue Australia is facing at the moment, with fashion also a critical concern. The resurgence of the mullet has swelled off late, with current AFL stars seeking to emulate the look synonymous with players of yesteryear and country music icons. But along with the ridicule that comes from the business in the front, party in the back look, Queensland punk rock band The Chats say that it's a source of discrimination. The band has accused a bar in the Sunshine State of having a no mullet policy, with lead singer Eamon citing his mullet as the reason for being declined entry. The bar denied having a no mullet policy and instead pointed to behavioral reasons as being the cause of the singer's rejection. Either way, the mullet is a divisive issue. So let's head over to a successful influencer for her much appreciated thoughts.
Hey guys, thanks for watching my channel. So apparently this band thinks that they got kicked out of a pub for having a mullet. I mean, the pub says it's not true and they actually just had a bad attitude. But I think mullets should be banned in pubs. In fact, I think they should be banned everywhere. Apparently mullets are back in fashion. Please note, this article is from 5 years ago. 5. It's over. Mullets are dead. Little word of advice from Red Foreman: get a haircut and get a job. So I vote yes to the mullet ban. And there's a few other things I'd like to see banned as well. Fur coats, leopard print leggings, fedoras, bell-bottom jeans. Who invented those? Oh, and bucket hats. I mean, unless you're in primary school, what are you doing? The last thing, clogs. Unless you're a Dutch farmer, you don't need to wear clogs, ever. FYI, calling 000 over fashion crimes is apparently illegal. Why don't the politicians promise us something we really want this election? Fashion police. Anyway, Tavleen, it's almost the end of the season, so if you're not following me now, when are you going to?
Not happening. And we turn our attention across the ditch now because the most trusted politician in Australia is a New Zealander. Yes, it's time to grab your chili bins and your jandals because New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern is the most trusted politician amongst Australians. A particularly good feat considering she's outspoken, a woman and a New Zealander. 3 things that Australians have traditionally not particularly liked. The claim comes from a survey run by polling company Millward Brown, which asked 1,400 people to rank politicians based on how believable they are. Peter Dutton ranked pretty low on the list, which I think is particularly unfair because he is believable as a Bond villain. After all, however, this does come into the fine tradition of Australia trying to take Kiwi things as our own. Sure, we claimed Russell Crowe, Crowded House and the Pavlova, but to be honest, stealing a Prime Minister seems a bit much, even by our standards. We go now to someone who is not capable of any emotion other than excitement. our fangirl correspondent, to give us the Jacinda goss.
Oh my god, thank you, Tavleen. I'm just so happy for my girl Jacinda. You know, I've been a hashtag Jacindaniac and a hashtag Ardernhead for like the longest time. So I'm just really glad that Australia has finally caught up. You know, she's just incredible. First, Jacinda was the youngest MP in Parliament, then she was the youngest ever leader of the New Zealand Labour Party, and now she's the 5th youngest head of state in the world. I mean, when a Prime Minister of an actual country looks after her child at the UN, then stands up to speak, takes down Donald Trump, and gets a thunderous applause from the entire General Assembly, I mean, how can you not jump on board the Jacinda train? Then she led the world after the Christchurch attacks, consoled her country, refused to speak the shooter's name, and was just genuinely, well, genuine. She did all that in some of the most testing times New Zealand has ever faced. And amongst that, she had to dodge creepy hugs from someone who I can only assume is a tipsy uncle at a family barbecue. And now she's getting acknowledgement right here. She's getting painted in a mural on a silo in Brunswick. Please, Miss Ardern, it is a highest honour. So the thing is, I kind of really want Jacinda as my Prime Minister. Actually, I definitely want Jacinda as my Prime Minister. In fact, it seems as though most of Australia does. So why are the Australian leaders so shit? Let's have a look at the survey. They ranked the most trusted politicians among Australians. Jacinda Bay won easily, of course. She's gorgeous, she's marvellous, she can have my children. Then who came second? Penny Wong. That's pretty cool. She's pretty badass.
Don't tell me I channeled Pauline Hanson. I find that personally offensive. I can tell you what happened to me and my family and people like us when she stood up in the Parliament, possibly before you were here, saying Australia was in danger of being swamped by Asians. I will
we
never
take our
do
responsibility
fight.
seriously.
And then we've got Julie Bishop. Talk about big dick energy. And then who's fourth? It's Tanya Plibersek, another absolutely incredible woman killing it in politics. Jeez, Australia. If I didn't know better, it seems as though you trust the female politicians more than the men. Considering that some bloke called Scott Morrison, which by the way is the most basic bitch white man name I've possibly ever heard, came 8th in that poll, maybe we need a bit of a change. So yes, I might seem like just a girl in my room, which, alright, I guess it's true. But hey, this girl gets to vote, and so do many others. So it doesn't matter, whether that be this election, next election, or whenever it is. We're coming for you guys. And with Jacinda and Penny and Malala and Hillary, we are not backing down. Back to you, Tavleen.
You got it, fangirl. Well, on that note, we have not only reached the end of this episode, but also season 3. Thank you to each and every one of you that has got involved with the show, whether that be watching on Channel 31, checking us out on socials, or just scrolling right past us in your newsfeed. But as always, please remember to like, share, and discuss your experiences with psychic vegetables in the comments below. We'll be back with another season very shortly. But while we await the winner of Saturday's nation-defining contest, and by that I mean Eurovision, the struggle, it's real.